Good morning, Tarkov. How's everyone doing? I forgot to get my tweet ready. Oh, no, I put the wrong picture on it. Oh, wait, did I? Or is that I? Nope, didn't. All right, good. All right, anyway, good morning, Tarkov. This is going to be mostly for the VOD viewers, so I'll just go ahead and explain some stuff real quick. This is the Tarkov morning show that I've been putting on for the last few weeks now, and it's doing pretty well, so I expect to keep doing it. It goes from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern United States time, where we just talk about something Tarkov related, and then we have something for, and then we have a bit of a Q&A afterwards. And of course, I'm not a dev from BSG, but I do know a lot about Escape from Tarkov, both from a gameplay and from a future plan standpoint. So that's kind of where the Q&A comes from. We chit chat and we discuss some stuff, and then if anyone has anything that they want to bring up from one of my recent videos, or if they want anything more clearly explained, I can do that as well. Today's topic is about Streets of Tarkov. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but we're just going to wait for the numbers to get up a little bit. So we'll just hang out for a little while and see when people start to show up. Then we'll get to today's topic. If you are watching the VOD, make sure you check out the description and the top comment in the comment section, because I'll put some timestamps down there for the major points of today's discussion, or for today's stream, whatever you want to call it, so that you can just kind of skip ahead and you don't have to actually stay for the entire stream. You'll get to the juicy parts, really. So, morning. How's everyone doing? Wow, I'm actually first. Yeah, it's, you know, 9 a.m. is when we start. 9 a.m. Eastern time. So, dudes. Morning. Oh, Maxim with the membership. Thank you very much, Maxim.
Handle the pressure. Fucking juice time.
And we get Nikita. Thank you very much, Nikita. Juice time indeed. Thank you, Maxim. Juice time indeed. 9 a.m. dude, you stream early? I live in Spain, so it's 3 p.m. here. No, it's not really a stream. It's just kind of a chit chat for an hour. I wake up, I get some info together, I kind of check Twitter. Which, speaking of, I have 7 notifications here. So what's up with this? Is this all right? So this is just a bunch of follows. I gotta make sure I didn't miss anything. Boop. Check that. Okay. Yep. Nope. Doesn't seem to be missing anything, so we're good. All right. Thank you very much, Maxim. I really appreciate the membership there. Do you believe that Streets is coming this year? Yes, I do, because that's the plan. So we'll see what ends up happening with it. In Russia now, it's 4 p.m. Okay. Yo. Oh, speaking of Russia, since it's now part of the Victory Day holiday that they got going on there, apparently today is really the day that, at least in terms of BSG, that's when people are going to be taking time off. But some people are still going to be working, and then apparently for the rest of the week, or for the rest of the quote, you know, the holiday over there, I'm not really sure what you would call it because it's 10 days long, but the celebration or whatever. Apparently there's going to be still some significant work going on over at BSG, so still definitely don't expect 12.11 this week, but next week is when we're probably going to start hearing something. Maybe we'll start hearing something about like a podcast or something, and then during that podcast is when they'll probably say something about like a possibility of when we're going to be seeing either patch notes or the patch itself, so stay tuned. Do you believe that Streets is coming this year? Yep. Thanks for all the Tarkov updates that you do for the community. Appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words. 4 p.m. in Bulgaria. Yeah, over in the EU, guys, it's I guess it's kind of like a weird thing to call it Good Morning Tarkov when most of the people that are going to be watching this is going to, at least live, is going to be European. But I'm, plenty of Westerners are going to be watching the VOD, so it's good enough. Plus, I have some podcast plans for later down the line for the evenings, my time, which will be good for everyone that's over in the West. Will you lose ghillie suits on death when the drop? Also, keep up the good work. Appreciate it. As far as I know, ghillie suits aren't confirmed because there were some issues that they were worried about with the production of them, or not the production, but the use of them in game, where it might cause some problems physics-wise and stuff like that. I could be wrong though. I forget the last time that they talked about it. I'm not completely up to date here. We're an international audience, yeah. What are your hopes for Lighthouse? It would be really cool if they get the first in-raid trader with Lighthouse, because that's the current rumor. And then also if they do make that the little tutorial zone or something to do with the tutorial zone, that would be interesting as well. Streets being this year was always the plan. Yeah, exactly. But this year is a little different. It's a little different this year, my friend. Morning, Alexander. How you doing? Hey, it's morning for me. I'm sitting here drinking my coffee, so it counts for me. Hey, there you go. Tuning in from Australia. What's up? G'day, mate. What do you think about the inertia? How do you think the fights will take on? Inertia, to me, is a long story because I think that it's going to be most effective when we get the custom armor hitboxes and the custom rigs, because that's going to be when people really start to decide to wear the heavier armor. And I think there should be a trade-off between the lighter armor, where you have less protection, or it's going to be super expensive to have the more protection but also be light. And if you choose to be light, you should be able to move around as if you were light and take the consequences of being less protected with that. Whereas if you wear the heavier armor, if you wear the forts, if you wear the Gen 4, stuff like that, if you wear those armors, then sure, you're going to be more protected, but you're going to be slower. So I hope that they still keep that in mind, which I'm sure they are, but we'll see what happens once the custom armor hitboxes come in and the custom rigs and stuff come in. Is that Nightbot messing with people here? Oda, I'm not sure why Nightbot took your question away from there. So let me get this. Do you think if they add adjustable gas blocks, you would have the option to either decrease recoil, decreasing also the rate of fire, or increase the rate of fire, but also increasing the recoil? That's an interesting question. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm not sure what they have for plans with that. I know that they're going to be doing significant more additions to internal modifications inside weapons. That could include increasing or decreasing the gas. It could include fun buttons for certain weapons. It could include what else would affect fire rate? Auto sear and stuff like that. Is auto sear, is that just for pistols? I don't actually know if auto sear is just for pistols or if you can do that for ARs and stuff too, or AKs. Excuse me. But we'll see. They're going to be doing more advanced modifications, so we'll see. Thanks for all the content. It's been fantastic and very entertaining. Thank you very much. What's inertia? We can get into that later. All right, the numbers are up, guys. So what we will do is get to today's topic, and then we'll get to the Q&A after that. So I'll just kind of chit-chat for a little bit here. And I'm going to put the slideshow up in the background because a lot of these pictures are streets. So we'll keep that up in the background here for a bit. And all right, today we are talking Streets of Tarkov. So we'll just rattle some stuff off here. It is expected for this year. It was actually expected for last year, but a pandemic ruined that. So everyone working from home and all that stuff. Plus, also, apparently they had a little bit of issues with clutter. So as ambitious of a map as this is, I'm not surprised if they kind of overdid it a little bit too much with when it comes to like extra polygons and extra shit that's just going to be around on the map. So they're going to be polishing, and as we're seeing that picture right there, that stuff can take a toll, especially with a map so big. So there's just a lot. There's just too much going on the map, and as far as I know, or last I heard, they were just kind of toning it down a little bit to help with the frame rate and the There's a better word for this, and I'm blanking on it. Just the playability of the map and just the how smooth the map will play out, because graphically speaking. So I have several videos. On Streets, whether it be info about the artwork, in-game footage, as you guys I'm sure are plenty used to now, because
How
of
do you handle the pressure? Fucking juice time.
Thank you, Nikita, and thank you, Casey Brown, for the member. Hey guys, if you guys are listening, let's do if you can hold on, let's do the members after the intro thing, and I can just kind of rattle off the intro here. Casey, thank you very much appreciated. Welcome to the club with the membership there. Okay, so in-game footage, and then the amateur mock-up. I even went into. Listen, I understand that Escape from Tarkov is in Unity engine, but I know Unreal Engine, or at least for gray boxing stuff. So I went and mocked up what I thought Streets was going to look like based off of all the screenshots and based off of all the in-game artwork that we saw, or in-game footage that we have seen already. And I still need to actually add to that, because since then we've gotten another trailer, so I can figure out more of that area. So we can, maybe we can turn that into a stream at some point, where I go back into Unreal and I fix up the rest of that stuff. So yeah, if you need more information past what I'm going to talk about today, then go ahead and check out those videos. I have a bunch of them about Streets on my channel, because Streets is the largest. It is going to be the largest map in Escape from Tarkov, and in fact, Nikita himself has said that he wants it to be one of the most ambitious urban maps in video game history. So based off of what we've seen already, I tend to believe him. There's a lot going on, and most of these buildings are going to actually be accessible, whether it be just the first floor, whether it be a hallway of a building, or it's going to be a full-fledged building, depending on where it is on the map and depending on its significance to the map. Like, for instance, if you wanted to take an example of what an entire building that would be somewhat fully accessible would probably be the car dealership. The car dealership is going to be the house, or not that house, but the home for the first of a few scav bosses on Streets of Tarkov. We don't have a name for him. We don't have anything super specific other than he's some kind of gang boss, and he's going to have an RPD. So with that being the plan, if that is still the case, once Streets launches, obviously expect our belt-fed light machine guns to be coming along with Streets either before the Streets patch 13, or with Streets. And maybe we'll get the saw with that too. At least that was the plan in the past. But hey, here's the RPD coming with that scav boss. So I would expect just like what we saw, just like what we see with dorms, just like what we see with the new construction, with Rashala over there on customs, just like what you see with, Interchange is a little bit of a different story, but pretty much everything is accessible in Interchange around where Killa spawns. Gluhar, all of those buildings are accessible. Everything around there's not too many. Sure, there's locked rooms where you might need the key for it and whatnot, but he runs around from open building to open building, all floors, almost all rooms accessible. It's going to be the same kind of setup with this. So the car dealership, I would expect, that's a pretty big building. I would expect at least most of that, because it is a tall building, so maybe it'll only go up a certain distance. But generally speaking, the first several floors should be fully accessible. Same thing goes for like all these apartment buildings. There's going to be multiple rooms. There's going to be multiple hallways. It's just going to be a lot. As you can see, actually, the artwork that's up on screen right now, those are the kinds of buildings where I would expect there to be just like the first floor to show up, where you're seeing, as you go up the building, you're seeing constant, just the same copy and pasted, just blank windows. Those are the kind of buildings, when you're looking at this artwork, to expect there to not be a whole lot of stuff going on with it. And then here's the exact opposite. We just saw the construction scene there, or the construction building there. I wouldn't be surprised if we can go to the top of that. I would not be surprised. So, like I said, it's going to be one of the most ambitious urban maps in video game history. That is what they are shooting for at Battlestate Games for Streets of Tarkov. It is a true urban environment. There's going to be tons of hiding spots. I've had tons of people ask questions over the past few months here with how are you going to handle, or how are you going to find, or how are you going to move through the map safely with so many people there's going to be sniping through windows and stuff like that. And every time I just say, yeah, welcome to Streets, or welcome to Tarkov. Like, yeah, that's going to be a thing. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, there's going to be people that are sitting up in windows. One of those people are definitely going to be me with a Scar H and an L-can, just checking out how many people I can pop from the highest point that I could possibly find on the map. Because that's going to be amazing. That's the point of urban combat. There's so many windows. There's so many hiding spots. It's just going to be a thing. It's just going to be really cool. And yeah, if that's something you're not looking forward to, then find something with less buildings. Go play a different map, really. But that's something I'm super anxious for. It's gonna be just chaos. It's gonna be so difficult to know like where you were killed from and stuff. It's gonna be great. So obviously with the increased map size, there's also gonna be increased raid time. Not sure exactly what, but if we're looking at 50 to an hour long raids for most of these maps right now, and this is supposed to be one of the biggest maps, both horizontally and vertically with all the buildings. You're going to be able to get lost very easily now more than ever with Streets of Tarkov. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's like an 1.5 to 2 hour long raid specifically for Streets. But like I said, not confirmed. Although now that I said that, I feel like they have said 1.5 hours in the past. So maybe take a mental note of that. But like either way, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being an 1.5 to 2 hour long raid. Also, speaking with increased numbers in terms of the raid time, we're also looking at increased numbers in terms of players. They want 40 players. Last I heard, that was PMC and Scav. So we'll see what ends up happening with the ratio there. And if that ends up changing, that's good. That's going to be insane if there's going to be more than 40 players, both PMC and Scav. But either way, at least 40. If at least 40 active players on the map at start. Or 40 active players as the maximum for Streets of Tarkov. And that might sound like a lot, but trust me, once you actually see and once you actually move around in the map, not that I've actually moved around on the map, but during the mock-up and stuff like that, you're going to be able to get lost very easily, and just one building can block you off from literally the rest of the map once you're walking outside, once you're walking down an alleyway or whatnot. So, if anything, I think 40 players are going to be relatively easy to hide and whatnot in a map like this, until everyone starts to figure it out, until everyone actually starts to get used to where the hot areas in the map are. Once they get to those safes, wherever the safes might be, wherever the best loot might be, and once people start to figure out where the best place to run to and sprint to and all that stuff, then it'll start getting a little bit more active. But at the beginning, I'm sure 40 players are going to hide pretty easily. Another thing that's going to be a feature with Streets of Tarkov, I don't know if these boys are going to be coming with it specifically, but something that's been talked about in the past is one of the NPC factions, whether these guys are the Russian regulars that we heard about before or the Russian army that we heard about before, or if they are a separate group. I made a video specifically talking about these guys, so if you want to look that up, you can look up Russian GRU specifically, and like I just said, it's the Russian GRU Special Forces units, and they are going to be roaming around Streets of Tarkov. There was some talk about them hunting down bad karma players, and we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if we're going to have PMC karma by the time Streets comes out, but that's going to be nuts. Just in general, we're going to have those Special Forces units roaming around, and it's going to be some pretty nice access to some cool Russian military loot. So we'll see probably some interesting AK builds, some armor, some ammo, and stuff like that around those guys. Probably something similar to Raiders, just not Raiders. And probably, it being Russian GRU, more leaning towards Russian weapons. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, too, is that Streets is supposed to be the central location to the map of Tarkov. The Norvinsk region of Russia is supposed to be... Sorry, the central location of the Norvinsk region of Russia, this fictional region of Russia, is supposed to be this city, this Streets of Tarkov here. So either the start or end location is going to be Streets of Tarkov. For those that don't know, the current plan right now for how you're going to progress from map to map in Escape from Tarkov, because you will not have access to every single map at the launch of the game, and like I said, this is the current plan as far as I know. You will start at one location, and then you will need to extract that location to get to another location. And in order to get to a specific location, you will need to use a specific extract. So to make this as simple as possible, if you use the road to customs on Shoreline, however this might end up working out, this might not end up working out exactly like this, but this is the best way that I can think of to explain this, is if you use the road to customs from Shoreline, that will then open up customs for you. If you use the tunnel exit from Shoreline, that should theoretically, if they end up putting Lighthouse where at least it shows up on the map, should lead you to Lighthouse as the next map, that kind of a thing. And Streets of Tarkov is either supposed to be your first location or the last location, as far as I know, when it comes to unlocking each map as you go. And that is everything that I have for my little spiel on Streets of Tarkov. So if you guys want to talk more Streets of Tarkov, we can. I'd actually prefer that since today's topic is Streets of Tarkov. But generally speaking, if you guys have some questions, then you can kind of just rattle them off and see what's up with that. Let's get to the Q&A. I'm going to turn the music up just a little bit. And I got to take a sip of coffee so I don't lose my voice. All right. So guys, as Core Boss and as Hugo just did there, I'll show this up on screen real quick. Make sure you're using @NiceGuy space Tarkov because this is what it looks like to me. So when you use @NiceGuy space Tarkov, that makes your questions stick out more significantly. I'll put it in chat a couple times because otherwise I just get you lost. I get you lost with all the rest of the chat here. So @NiceGuy space Tarkov, like what Hugo and Korbach just did again there, right? Real quick. Excuse me. All right. Is the thing you mentioned in your community tab related to the heli extract on streets? I'll get back. I'll rotate around to that because how many people do we have watching right now? 230? How long's it been? It's so it's not like this is like an NDA thing. It's just me trying to cover my ass, basically. So I'm trying to debate how I want to go about doing this or if I should just wait. Trust me, it has nothing to do. It doesn't have anything to do with like a wipe. I don't know anything special about 12.11, but it is information based. And I wasn't like, I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to cover my own ass. I don't want to look like an idiot if it doesn't end up happening. So just try. Maybe I'll talk about it later here since there's not like, you know, the fucking 50,000 people or whatever. But you know what? Only a few thousand people watch the VOD too. I don't know. Give me a minute to think about it because I really don't want to look like an idiot if it doesn't end up happening. So give me a few minutes to think about it. Let's do some questions and I might circle back to that. Explain in-game inertia, please. That's super difficult to explain. Basically, I guess the easiest way that I could explain it is that if you were to stand up right now and shift your weight to your left, you know how you don't stop immediately? Like, hell, I'm doing it right now. As I'm going, I'm just kind of spinning my body around. Notice how it's not like, you know, for lack of a better word, pixel perfect. There's some sway to it. There's like momentum to how you're moving around. Where in Tarkov, it's pretty cut and paste. It's pretty pixel perfect, especially when you have that high strength and high endurance kind of stuff. You can move around really quickly, and then when you do the AD going around corners, it makes it very easy to like just shoot somebody very quickly, and it doesn't look that realistic. So that is what when most people bring up inertia. That's what they're talking about. They don't want you to be able to as quickly just like kind of snap around a corner like that. They want there to be some problem. They want it to be slower and they want it to have more kind of like a momentum, kind of slowish, sluggish feeling to it. I don't know how many people are on this train, but I know that I am, where I like how that is a thing right now, but there should be a trade-off for it. So if you want to play the game like that, there should be something that you are giving up to play the game like that, i.e. protection. So once the custom armor hitboxes are in the game correctly, and once the custom rigs are in the game correctly, in order to play the game that quickly, and in order to do that, you need to be light on your feet. So you can't have heavy armor, you can't have heavy equipment, you can't just be heavy in general or else you're going to fall over. Hell, you might even fucking break your leg or whatever if you're too heavy doing that shit. So my theory with it is that, or like my kind of like, I just hit the mic, so sorry. I don't know how loud that was. I just hit the mic though, so sorry. My point of view with it is that once the custom armor hitboxes and the custom rigs are in the game, people are going to choose to wear the heavier armor in order to be more protected, and they're going to be slower because of it, and they're not going to be able to do that kind of stuff because of it. And then if you want to be able to move around, if you value that kind of movement more than your own protection, then you wear the lighter armor. Maybe you don't even wear armor at all, depending on how it works out, how it's going to end up working out with the custom armor hitboxes. And then you are going to be able to move around like that. There should be a trade-off. Like that's my thought process with it. And yeah, that's how I want to see it. That's kind of how I want to see it happen, but we will see. You guys are absolutely fucking flying this morning. So, I mean, fornicate. You know, shout out to any members watching. We can just do that. Fornicate. You guys are fornicating flying this morning. Unfortunately, I can't get the eye closer to the end, but oh well. Okay, let's be real. Do you think Streets will be playable on release? On release of Streets or on release of the game? On release of the game, absolutely. On release on release of just Streets of Tarkov, like patch 13, hell yeah. Now, what we're talking about is if you have a $600 PC from 2016, you're probably not going to be able to play Streets that well. Now, if you have a $1,500 PC from 2019, yeah, you're going to get the frames might be some issues there or whatever. And then, hell, even if you have a full Chad PMC, a full Chad PC, you know, with the, you know, 3090 and whatever and all them, then sure, you're going to be able to play it pretty easily. But, you know, it's relative depending on what you have to play with, that kind of a thing. And I highly doubt that BSG would launch it, at least not intentionally launch it without it, you know, being playable. So we'll see. Especially after they've put all this work into it. And for those that don't know, Streets of Tarkov was already built. They made it, and they didn't like how it played, and they didn't like how it looked, so they scrapped it. They already made Streets of Tarkov once, and they scrapped it. So that's why it's been in pictures, and that's why everyone's known about it since 2015 or 2016, whenever they first showed that first picture. Because they went and made it, they didn't like it, so they threw it away and then redid it. So if that doesn't mean that they're dedicated to have it actually be, you know, playable, I don't know what is. When are they going to lock the container for the beginning of each raid? That's not a when thing, that's an if thing, and I don't think they're even going to do that. And that's definitely not a when thing. In terms of testing, maybe they're testing it on the ETS right now. We don't know. Are there going to be new cases and pouches? Yep, that's planned. You saw the Omicron here at some point here in the slideshow. Will the Russian special forces on Streets have their own karma value? Like if they are chasing you and you kill them, it just impacts karma even more. I don't think that that's going to be associated with karma. I think the karma system is more player versus player, or scav versus scav kind of a thing. But we don't know. We'll see. My outlook on it, again, guys, since we keep asking about karma today, expect every single person that you see and hear, no matter what they are doing, every single person to be hostile until you learn otherwise. Just be ready. Be ready and expect that person to want to kill you at every second of every raid, and then, you know, gather some information, decide what to do, and then go from there, and you should be fine. I don't see realistically how that you wouldn't be fine if you go at every situation like that, but maybe I could be wrong. We can discuss it some other time if you want. I don't know. That's one of those I don't know what I don't know kind of things, so that's why it's good to have these kind of discussions. Any new news on 12.11 or the next patch in general? Nope, sorry. I would definitely lead off. If I had anything like that, I would definitely lead off about that, or that would be in the title or something like that. Although I do have a notification. Nope. Nothing there. If that's the same Maxim, what's up? I watched Unity GDC Showcase 2021 last month. They show some games in that show. Streets of Tarkov video is one of them. Yeah, that's they weren't kidding when it's going to be it's one of the most, if not the most ambitious urban environment location in gaming history, and it's going to be on Unity Engine. We'll see. Do you like the current economy and the current rush meta with 995 laser and No, I don't. And Nikita doesn't either. He doesn't like metas. So right now we are in a testing environment. So if you are going to be testing things, you need to have access to them. So my theory is that they make things a little bit more easy to access just so we can test this stuff for the future. And that stuff's not going to stick around very much, especially not after a wipe, because people aren't just going to have access to it anymore. So we'll see. Okay, Jack deleted that one, so make sure we're behaving today, boys and girls. Do you think a lot of casual player base left earlier than usual this wipe? Probably. because of the bonuses. Yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised because of how the economy ended up working out. But another thing with Tarkov is that it brings you back. So you play those other shooter games, and then you realize you don't like them as much as Escape from Tarkov, or there's just something about Escape from Tarkov that you want to go back to, and then you end up coming back. At least that's what I started to feel, and that's what most people end up feeling like that I've talked to about Escape from Tarkov. I'm sure plenty of you feel that way too. So that's why breaks are good. If you get too frustrated, whether it be because of the economy, whether it be because the player base is like too like stacked right now in terms of chads and everyone having a ton of money and everyone having the best armor and the best weapons and the best ammo and all that stuff. If you genuinely get frustrated playing the game, take a break. Go play something else. Come back. I don't know how many times I need to say that, because for some reason or another, I do get flack for saying that sometimes. I don't know why that's not a valid thing. I just personally, that's what I do. It works for me. I know that there's other people that it works for, so do it. If you get genuinely frustrated, just take a break. You guys are fucking flying today. Oh my god. All right, I'm not gonna be able to get to everyone. Let me just see what I can do, and I'll now don't spam, guys. If you are in the chat right now and you see yourself already asking the question in the chat, do not ask it again, please. So we're not spamming or anything like that. But I'll try to get to as many as I can here. Love your streams. Have been listening every day. Do you think devs will make subsonic rounds actually reduce the noise and less durability hit on suppressors, if they will be a thing? That is planned, as far as I know. Durability for suppressors. Also, thank you for the kind words. But then also, yes, that's stuff that they constantly work on with the audible, like, what's the word there? How loud subsonic rounds are. It's just not a priority right now. I personally have watched a stream where Nikita sat there and messed with the spreadsheets while Clean was talking about, I think it was something to do with AKs, one of the AK rounds, one of the subsonic AK rounds or something. And he literally changed it from his phone. So they're able to do that. They know about that stuff. It's probably a point of priority, whether or not to do it right now or not. Is there a chance that Victory Day surprise could also be the wipe? No, I doubt it. I doubt it's going to be the wipe, because we're still a few weeks out. I went and checked this morning. The Victory Day surprise happened on May 8th last year. So, again, that's going to be the day to look out for. And I know that May 9th, when I looked up information about Victory Day, May 9th was the big day. But then when I talked to some people at BSG, they said that it was from the 1st to the 10th. But they will be working tomorrow. They're not going to be working today, or at least a bunch of people aren't going to be working today, but they are going to be working through the rest of this holiday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hell, it might not even nothing might happen. Maybe they'll just do a sale. Maybe we'll just get a tweet. We'll have to see. All I know is that it happened last year. It was a complete and utter surprise last year. So just because we haven't heard anything this year doesn't mean it's not going to happen, because it was a surprise. So we'll see what happens. Do you think removal of the flea market would be a negative or positive thing for the game? So I talk about this all the time, and I had a couple videos that talked about it. I think that the flea market, as it currently stands, creates a problem for Escape from Tarkov, which, in terms of economy, because the whole point of, it's not the whole point, but you know, lack of a better word, the whole point of the game is to get gear and then use that gear to thrive in the game. So immediately at level 10, if you have enough money, if your only issue is money, and then you have access to whatever the fuck you want, whenever you want, I think that's a problem. I think that creates a major problem for the game, and the flea market is that problem. So I think that when it comes to the flea market, removing it will solve that problem, because that is the current problem with it. Just it existing is the problem, but I don't think that is the only solution. I think that there's lots of things that you can do around how the loot system works and where you can find these items, how the found and raid system works, and we are here to test these things, so let's test it, that kind of a thing. So again, I think that the flea market causes a significant problem for Escape from Tarkov, which removing it will solve that problem, but I don't think it's the only solution to that problem. I think that they can work on it. I think there's lots of stuff that they can do to fix that. That's the TLDR there with my opinion on the flea market. When will underbarrel grenade launchers be added? Any info? I don't have any info on when, but the what is most likely going to be the GL40 with the SCAR, because it was literally made for the SCAR. And they're both going to be in game soon. So, do you think that if BSG are able to deal with the majority of RMT cheaters, they will remove or reduce the limit on selling non-found and raid items. Yeah, for sure. If they are able to find some kind of miracle cure to RMT and cheaters, I practically guarantee that that everything's all that stuff's gonna come back. But you know, that's a big ask. I'm not sure if that's gonna be a thing because there's always gonna be people that are trying to break the system. There's always gonna be people cheating, and it depends on how big of a hit they do to the community and how big of a problem they actually are. Again, anything to help the community, anything that would be useful that wouldn't hurt the community as well. I'm sure they're thinking of constantly how to bring stuff like that back, including like ping limits, stuff like ping limits too. Excuse me, I gotta take a sip here, guys, before I lose my voice. Isn't armor already useless enough, and the hitboxes would make it even worse? Well, you're thinking of the current economy there. You're thinking of the current game, Bella. Because I don't know about you guys, but if you wear a Gen 4 on day 1 of the wipe, I don't think useless would be the word that you would want to use to describe that situation. So once the custom armor hitboxes come into the game, I think that if anything, it's going to become more realistic, which is like what they want. And then depending on how people play with it and depending on how people use it, then we go into the as realistic as playable thing, and we'll see what goes from there. Personally, it being useless is not necessarily the right word. Of course it's not the right word, because you can get ricochets and stuff from the helmets. If you're talking about armor, don't make it don't make yourself that easy of a target, forehead kind of stuff. There's lots that can go into that. It's a really open-ended question, but I think most of the thing that you're asking about here with you calling armor useless is based off of the current game, which doesn't exist once there's a wipe and doesn't exist once we're out of this testing environment. But let me know what you think. Does that make sense to you there, Bella? Or K-Bella? K-Bella VK? K-Bella VK? Do you remember seeing a black decked out PPSH? Do we know when those gun parts are being released? I have no idea what you're talking about, Forrest. If you do, post it in the Discord and I'll see what's up with that. I don't remember seeing that. They should remove ammo, armor, and guns from the fleet and buff up traders to compensate. Yeah, there's stuff that they can do with the traders, and no, I'm not saying let's do that for the flea market. I mean, we can test that stuff. We can see what's going on with that. In Escape from Tarkov, there should always be, if there's going to be a flea market, there should be guns and ammo. Excuse me, guys. If there's going to be a flea market, there should be guns and ammo and all that stuff on there. It just depends on like the access and how you can put the stuff up on there and stuff like that, and the amount of stuff that you can put up, when you can put it up, and how quickly you get those items. The flea market is you literally have instant access to whatever the fuck you want. There's no downtime. There's no anything. As long as you have the money, you click a button and you have it, and that's the core issue with it. So there's lots of ways that you can mess with that. Do you think that achievements would add to the game, like showing that you once got Kappa container, etc.? I think they're planning on having an API that tracks that stuff in the future, but it's not done yet. Do you know anything about the big white tower in the middle of Tarkov City in terms of maps? Will we be able to enter it on streets? I would assume that you're going to be able to enter it at some I don't know what's the right word here. Some of the floors are going to be accessible, but maybe not the entire building, that kind of a thing. But it's a very prominent building, so I would be surprised if you can't get into it at some point, or in some way or shape or form or whatever. I am going insane. Blah 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 blah. You guys are moving way too quick. Okay, I have to skip a bunch of questions again, guys. Sorry, everyone's moving way too quick. So I'm going to scroll back down to the newest questions. And again, if you see your question already in the chat, don't ask it again, and wait for the chat to scroll up and then ask it again. Will there be silent takedowns for you to be able to kill raiders silently without the other raiders being alerted? Now, I don't know about raiders because I feel like they'd be too difficult, but you might get lucky with a couple of dumb players or a couple of players that aren't listening or paying attention or whatever. But we'll see what happens with the raiders. But they are the advanced animations include melee takedowns, and that is from Nikita himself. I had a video on that a few months back. What's your favorite 7.62x51 NATO weapon? Right now, it's the M1A, and you bet your ass it's going to be the Scar once the Scar is in the game. What are you most looking forward to besides streets? Definitely the custom armor hitboxes, because it's going to change the game completely. It's going to be the biggest change in the game. It's going to completely turn it upside down. It's going to affect literally every decision that you make about the game because of how the gear that you're going to bring, whether it's going to be worth it to bring that gear because you're not going to be as easily protected by the armor that everyone counts on right now. Well, not right now, given that the current state of the wipe, but in general, armor is very useful when the economy is there for it. So like if everyone's running around like a mid-game kind of deal, everyone has the mid-game ammunition, everyone has the mid-game strength and endurance and all that stuff, the mid-game ammo, then that armor is actually effective and actually useful. But once the custom armor hitboxes come in, it's going to change a lot with that. So again, also I wish that I hope there's going to be some kind of trade-off that you'll get. The people that want to wear the more protective armor, they're going to have to be heavier and not be able to move around as quickly. And if they wanted to move around as quickly, then you wear lighter or less armor. So I like that kind of thought process. Lore-wise, I don't understand the flea market anyway. Surely someone like Prapper wouldn't be too happy about all of us undercutting their weapon prices. I'm sure Toys R Us wasn't happy when Amazon became a thing, but that still happened. So that's just like, yeah, that's just kind of a thing that happens. So personally, lore-wise, it makes complete sense. But realism-wise, it doesn't make any sense that it's instant. So I was hoping that maybe they'll eventually have some kind of time set to it. Which I trust me, guys. I understand on the outset. When you guys hear me say something like that, there's probably plenty of you guys that are going to be pissed about that. What the fuck? I can't instantly get my guns any more than anything like that. Then you still have the traders. There's still going to be things that you can get from the traders. But the fact that the best items in the game, period, are instantly accessible and available at any given moment is a problem. And if you don't agree with that, I hope that we can discuss that because I don't know how to explain that otherwise. In a looter shooter like Escape from Tarkov, not that this is like Destiny 2 or anything, but you know what I mean. In a looter shooter like Escape from Tarkov, there is something that, no questions asked, you can instantaneously access whatever the fuck you want at any given moment. That is a problem. In my mind, that's a problem. So that's why I'm talking like that. What if BSG adds in a buy limit to the flea market? Do you think that this could help? There's loads of stuff like that I'm a big let's find out, fuck around and find out kind of guy, or fornicate around and find out guy. So put it up on the ETS, or maybe even maybe we can try it on the live servers eventually here, and see what happens. How about in-game events on the maps? I don't talk about airdrops, but like to be able to use a workbench on reserve to customize your weapon in raid or a working vending machine. Okay, so there's a lot there. The airdrops actually are planned. There's going to be both real-time and static airdrops. In fact, you probably saw some of the pictures there. In the slideshow. Nikita himself talked about that, and that's actually, already work in progress. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. I don't know what happened to the no-fly zone, but that's the thing. Editing your guns in-game is going to be, you don't need a workbench. All you need is a multi-tool. It's going to work eventually. There's actually some prompts in-game right now that talks about that being a thing, but it doesn't actually work. So eventually, if you have a multi-tool on you, you are going to be able to edit the things that you currently can't edit with your gun in-game or in raid. And then working vending machines, I haven't heard anything about. I mean, that'd be funny, but I haven't heard anything about that yet. So in streets, I can finally achieve rat heaven. Possibly. I feel like you could probably do that on interchange right now, but yeah. Flea market fix. You can only buy examined items, and you can only examine unknown items in raid. You can only buy examined items, and you can only examine unknown items in raid. Theoretically, I guess that would work, but you better not be able to. I mean, how are the traders going to work then? I think you're on an interesting track there, but the traders would be a thing, so we have to figure that out. Also, God forbid you accidentally don't examine something, and then what are you going to do if you can't examine it? That kind of thing. I think you're on the right track in terms of like theorizing a fix there, but there needs to be more to that. Will all/most buildings and floors be accessible on streets? Definitely not all. It absolutely will not be all, and I don't think I would even call it most. My theory with it is that most buildings are going to at least have a ground floor. And of those buildings that have the ground floor, I think most of them are going to have multiple floors. If that doesn't make sense, I can kind of elaborate on that. But again, I think most buildings that are in Streets of Tarkov are going to have at least a ground floor. And of those buildings that have at least a ground floor, I think most of those, so another chunk out of that, are going to have multiple floors. Now, when it comes to multiple, how many multiple, we'll have to wait and see. But that's the best way that I can picture it right now. Hornet emote for members soon see. Oh fuck, that's a good point. Let me take a note of that. But what would we can only have 4. That is funny though. We can only have 4. Here's the current emotes for members, by the way. We've got Operator Nick. We've got Emperor Palpatine saying do it, and then we have Fornicate, which is 2. It's Foreign is 1, and then Ickate is the other one. Would we get rid of Emperor Palpatine for the Hornet? I don't know. What do you think about suppressor muzzle device combo stacking recoil control? I consider it a bug and it has to be fixed. I don't know what it is behind that. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, to be honest with you. I'm not that much of a gun guy. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. So that's a good question for BSG. So you're saying that wipe, where are we at? All right, guys, real quick. How many people do we have watching? Oh, we have 400 people. All right, listen. I'm not going to talk about it completely, but what I will do is I'll give you guys a hint. Okay? Everyone listening? Because I don't want to look like a fucking idiot if this doesn't end up happening. This is all I'll say about it when it comes to the community post that I did the other day. Don't everyone freak out. And I'm not going to answer any questions that you ask about this. This is literally the only thing I'm going to say about it. If you guys could ask Nikita any question, what would it be? If you guys could ask our Lord and Savior Nikita any question, what would it be? That's all I'll say. That's it. That's all I'll say. And we'll see what people say in chat. Do you think with the arrival of PMC Karma, you would have some sort of examine loading? Like when looting, when an enemy is on site, do you know which faction they're in? I doubt it. No, because with how analog everything is in Escape from Tarkov, I doubt anything like that's going to pop up. We're definitely not going to be getting that system from, if you're talking about like a system from like Fallout, whatever the VADS thing is or whatever. Yeah, no. I mean, not exactly, of course, but like, you know what I mean? I don't think it'll work like that. When is wipe? When wipe? Okay, so it seems like you guys want to know when the wipe is. Interesting. Tell us more. I'm not going to tell you more because I don't want to look like a fucking idiot, so we'll see what happens. I would ask Nikita about the lighthouse map. Interesting. Tell us. I'm not going to tell you more, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not. Let me just read what you guys, because I am going to look like a massive fucking idiot if it doesn't end up happening. Do a semi-single player campaign in Tarkov where key story points are played in prescripted single player sections that open up the game as they are completed would be good. I am trying to dissect your question here, USEC3, because as far as I know, that's literally a thing. Like that's gonna. I explained that earlier today. That's gonna be a thing. You're gonna have to go from map to map. I think that's gonna be a thing. Yeah. On launch, that is. Do you think Nikita has strong legs and works out? Probably. You seen that dude? You seen that dude's Instagram? Hold up. Oh wait, this is Jamaica. Hold on. Look at this fucking Chad, dude. Look at this man's. Look at him. He's watching cartoons. And that's chicken. Or shrimp. What the fuck is that? I don't even know. He's got Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look at him. Look at that beautiful man. Look at him. Oh, he's got money now. I don't know what this is. This is Nikita's Instagram. Oh, he's at the range. Of course you need money at the range. I need to fuck with my, What the fuck is that? Hold up. Demerca? What? 4 hours ago? Hold up. What? Hold the fucking phone. Is that an RPG 26? Is that an RPG 26? Jack! Jack, is that an RPG 26? Four hours ago. I want to see. That's definitely an RPG, boys. That's definitely an RPG 26. Oh, is he gonna? What's he doing with it? Guys, we are watching this together for the first time. I don't know. Is there audio? All right, find someone who speaks Russian now. Who speaks Russian? Music off. Someone find Zero. Zero, are you in chat?
Да, вот эта вся херня, да. Ну и как бы, ну отлично. В общем, ну, здорово.
О, привет.
Короче, как договаривались. Вот, в общем, ну там сам понимаешь, да, там все хорошо, там продолжай играть, там получишь больше хороших слов, там, ну, там, если какие-то, ну, проблемы начинаются, ты всегда все списывай на...
Ну, у меня компьютер сам.
Ну да, вот эта вся херня, да. Ну и как бы, ну, отлично. И мы тебе, кстати, зашлем потом вот этот вот, ты хотел купальник такой прикольный, да?
Какие вот хочу нагрудники?
Нагрудники какие, купальник, да, мы тебе зашлем, как обещали.
Смотри, а ты можешь балаклаву мне какую килу сделать?
Ну, только 2 полоски не
Две?
требует, да.
Это чтобы авторские права не нужны?
Да, конечно.
Грейшоповские.
Ну, желательно, да. Там много всех.
Я
Там,
понял.
да, ну все, короче, тогда, если что, там звони, пиши, там на пейджер скидывай, как обычно.
Хорошо.
Как бы, ну, в общем...
Okay. We don't need it word for word, but was there any kind of is this generally just a meme? You guys that can speak Russian? Were they memeing around, or was there any reference to Escape from Tarkov in that? This guy's a semi-known blogger from Russia. He's known for complaining about Tarkov's state in general, and some of his memes have even gone viral. And this is just some corruption happening. Oh, gotcha. Guy in Balaclava is Russian, somewhat weapon and tactics related blogger. He talked about EFT, so they laugh about Nikita buying him. Oh, gotcha. Is there any reference to bribes him so he plays EFT and says good stuff about it? Okay. All right, so the reason why that was interesting, guys, is because the current plan right now, for those that don't know, for launchers and heavy explosives in Escape from Tarkov, or at least the rumor about it, is that there is supposed to be an in-raid trader where you get those items. So if you want a grenade launcher, like if you want a different grenade launcher, or if you want an explosive, if you want a mine, if you want a actual launcher like an RPG or an RPG 26 like that guy just had, or a LAW or an AT4 or anything like that, you need to go to a specific map and then go to a specific location, go to that trader, buy that item, and then get out of the raid or use that item there in order to have access to those items. So that would have been huge, but okay, no, I get it. I get that. That makes sense. That story makes sense. So cool. All right. So it was just some, it was a very, he's, what's the right word there? He was speaking critically of Tarkov a lot. So, Nikita was buying him off. Okay. Still funny though. He's still a beautiful man. Look at that man's. Look at him. But yeah, so yeah, I don't even know how we ended up getting to this. That's Kiba. I don't know who that guy is, but that's Kiba. His Instagram is fucking amazing, by the way, guys. You should go check that out. It's like one of the best gun Instagrams, like, period, like out there. That's our boy out there operating. That's our boy. All right, let's head over to chat again. All right. So anyone that missed that, the gist of that was that it was basically a meme. It doesn't have to do with like the in-raid trader or whatever. All right, that was an interesting little field trip we did there. That was interesting. The chat is moving a fucking mile a minute. I don't know what's going on with this. Let's chill. Chill, 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 chill. He is fence. Oh, okay. Please say it's VoIP. Blink twice if it's VoIP. Well, you can't see my eyes, so I can't blink now, can I? That's literally, guys, I don't want to look like an idiot, so that's all I'm going to say. Do you think he will ever get a Nikita in-game boss? That would be cool. I wish we would. But you can't kill him. He's unkillable. With custom armor hitboxes, if your plate gets damaged in raid, do you think we would be able to replace it in raid? I don't think. I know. That is the plan. You can replace armor plates in raid. That is the plan. You can either bring them with you, which because that would be heavy, or you can take them off other players if you found somebody with the same rig or the same armor or whatever. And there's going to be different armor plates. Is open world still a thing? Yep, it's still a thing. Still playing. We're going to see map-to-map travel first, and then we'll see where it goes from there. With how big Streets is going to be, what time limit will it have? We don't know exactly what time limit. I think I remember hearing something about an hour and a half. So, 90 minutes, and it could go up to 2 hours. We'll see. We'll see how long that ends up being. Did you blink? I don't know. How do you know that you blinked? You don't see your eyes, right? You see the inside of your eyes? Is that even a thing, or do you just go to a different universe? I don't know. Let's not... We're talking about Tarkov. We can leave this stuff for the other... Leave this stuff... Weird discussions, our hot dog sandwiches. We can leave that stuff for is cereal soup. We can leave those discussions for the second channel. We're talking Tarkov right now, boys. We've Bear and USEC, but do you think we will ever have other factions, maybe UK or Asian? No, I don't think so, because I think that's like the lore behind it. I don't think we'll have other PMC groups. Now, with the thing with the Black Division is that might be like a cosmetic thing, but I don't think you would literally pick the Black Division and then that would be a thing. I think we're going to stick with Bear and USEC. I'd ask if he still thinks open world Tarkov is a thing that could be possible in approximate year when he thinks that could be accomplished with a massive project. Guys, when it comes to launch of Escape from Tarkov, there's 3 things that they need to be in-game before they can give us a proper launch window. That's Streets of Tarkov, that's the custom rigs and armor hitboxes, and that's the lore quests. At least that's the last time that they talked about it. That's what they wanted. So once the custom armor and rigs are in the game, once Streets of Tarkov is in the game, and then once the lore tasks are in the game, they're going to give us an approximate launch window, and then we can go from there. Also, if you were going to ask that question, I would assume he'd say yes, because we haven't even gotten to the map-to-map travel yet, so we haven't even really tested it yet. So we're going to see map-to-map travel, and then we're going to see eventually open world if it's possible. So map-to-map travel first. Nikita's cat boss has a microwave tactical vest. Ooh. What if his helmet is a microwave? I think that might work. Do you think radios will have their way into the game since there is a radio pouch model? Yeah, radios are there. Those are coming, man. Radios are coming. Do you think vehicles will ever be a thing at all? Vehicles are a long story because it's not a no, but it's very, 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 very unlikely to happen. It is literally, if there was a list of things that were going to be possibly added to Escape from Tarkov, vehicles would be the very last thing. Rebalance of recoil on all guns. Yep, that's all with time. I'm getting really upset now. Okay, I don't know what you're getting upset about, but yo, chill out. Take it chill, Pio. Take it easy, man. Didn't I say the flea market will be a location to go in game, just like traders? No. The thing that I remotely said about that was that you might have to go to your hideout, if that's what you mean. You might have to go on the laptop in your hideout. If that's what you mean there, agent. But that's a maybe. That's like a might. With how big Streets is going to be, what time limit? Yeah, like I said, I think it might be an hour and a half to 2 hours, but we'll end up seeing. We'll see. With the experiments Terror Group are doing being super hush-hush, do you reckon future IPs that BSG work on may go into a global scale chaos? The next thing after Escape from Tarkov, Leon, is going to be Russia 2028. So, I mean, Terror Group is still going to be a thing. Terror Group will still be a thing in Russia 2028, I'm sure. So go check out my video on Russia 2028 if you want more info on that. Is the community tab thing related to UN scavs? I'm not going to answer that. That doesn't mean yes, that doesn't mean no, but you guys need to stop asking questions about that. I told you already. I told you I'll give you one tease because I don't want to look like an idiot. All right? I'm not going to answer questions. I shouldn't have even read that one. So, you know, stop it. Nikita Boss just running. Do I have that ready? I might test some stuff real quick. Where's my Nikita?
Will be
There it is. Imagine just like
This is a test donation.
Okay, thanks Brian.
It was blurred.
Okay, thanks Brian. What if it was just really dark on Streets of Tarkov in a back alleyway, right? It's late in your raid. You're about to get out. You're on your way over to your extract. You hear some scuffling around the corner.
And
then you did.
It was blurred.
Yeah, and then you die. It just cuts to black. That's what's gonna happen. Guarantee it. Nikita Boss. Do you think that there will ever be any kind of map destructibility? Absolutely not. They would have had to need to do that. They would have needed to do that from the beginning. There's definitely not going to be any kind of like levolution or anything like that. When do you think radiation will get into the game? I don't know a date. And how will it impact the game? It's going to be denial. It's going to be area denial stuff. Unless you have the proper kit, unless you have like a gas mask or something. Guys, we're going to do 2 more questions here because we're at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I only keep these to an hour. That's how I don't lose my voice with these. So I'm going to grab a couple more questions here. And if I miss anything or if you miss anything, if I miss any of your questions or if you have any more questions or anything like that, I will be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern United States time. Do you think Thermal will ever come out soon? Terminal, yes. But it would be after Streets. It would be after Streets. So, no, actually, because that'd be like a year away. Sorry, no, it'd be more like a no. It'd be, so we've got the factory expansion, we've got Lighthouse, then we have Streets, and then maybe Terminal or whatever they end up doing after that. So, actually, no, that's not really soon. So, when do you think there will be more music? Nikita loves making music, so this is all Nikita, by the way. His music alias, or whatever you guys want to call it, is Gene Burn. That's all Nikita. And he likes doing that stuff, so I'm sure there will be plenty more. Snowy maps or something like that. Snow and extensive weather, like, or, what is it? I'm blanking on the word. Significant weather like that is a DLC. There's a DLC planned for weather like that. When's wipe? Check out my video on 12.11. Kill a blaring hard base. Yeah, just a little bit. I don't know about blaring, but there's just a little bit of hard base, and then just out of the shadows. And it just gets louder and louder. And then he just you dead. Cuts to black. All right, guys. That is gonna do it for today. Like I said, I got to keep these to an hour so that I don't lose my voice. Thank you guys very much for hanging out today. Any of you guys that joined the member crew, there's gonna be some member stuff that is going up later today. I got to make sure I send out my personal thank yous. And also, another thing with the members is that anytime you comment on anything too, something I forgot to add to that video, is if you comment on any of my videos at any time, I can see exactly what you're commenting, so it makes it much easier for me to respond to you guys. So you guys, if you have any questions about anything specific on any of my videos, leave a comment and I will know about it, and I'll see if I can get that answered to the best of my abilities as soon as possible. That kind of a thing, because that is what you get when you are a member. So thank you very much for hanging out today, guys. I will be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern United States time to 10 a.m. Eastern United States time, as usual, for the latest Escape from Tarkov news, including that thing that I was talking about in the community section. Once I hear, once some other stuff happens with it, stay tuned to the channel. And otherwise, I hope you guys have a nice day. See you guys.